Why, hello, friends. Good morning. It is Tuesday. Tuesday morning. What's up, everyone? What's going on? Welcome on in to Coffee with Brodes. What's up, Green? What's up, Auto, MLB fan, Car Theory? It's your 21st birthday today? Well, geez, happy birthday. It's unreal. You did say today, right? It does say today. You know me. Haven't had my sip of coffee yet. What's up, Joe Mac? Tide, what's happening? What's up? What's up? Kevin, Ruben, Lewis, Joseph, Ben, Arm Zebra, Dylan, Adrian, the crew, Zach. What's up, everyone? Welcome on into Coffee with Brodes this morning. This coffee is going to burn the hell out of my mouth. The coffee's right here. Where's the coffee? Where's the coffee, they say, everyone. Did you see that comment? That's funny. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for coming in. We're about to have fun for the next hour or so. And then, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So cheers. So I didn't get an opportunity last night. I waited for today. Today I'm going to record the Sixers show. So after Coffee with Bro, if you're looking for it, because a lot of people are like, Brodes, where's your Sixers vid? Where's your Sixers pod? After Coffee with Brodes, I'm going to record the Sixers Bulls recap video. So just be on the lookout. That's all I'm saying. If you're looking for it, be on the lookout. What kind of coffee am I drinking today, Paul? I am going with, I've been grinding through this because I'm in this phase. I go through a lot of my phases, but I'm just ripping through my Wawa hazelnut coffee. I bought a whole nother one, poured it on top. I got this huge container. It's just stacked to the top. So I'm just cruising through my Wawa coffee right now, Wawa hazelnut. Is today It is today, yes, and the Flyers. It is today. Oh, your birthday's today. Sorry, I got confused there. The Flyers actually won a game against the Penguins. I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch 1 second of that Flyers game, and it hurts me. It hurts me. Now, I saw Tom Wilson, and that's going to be our Open Ice Hits podcast topic for tomorrow. We're going to record tomorrow morning, but yeah, I am just so out, 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 out on the Philadelphia Flyers, even though they win 7-2, man. It's crazy. I don't think I've had that. I don't think I've had the mountain coffee or the Jamaican mountain coffee. Plot twist, Brodes has vodka in his mug. I do not. I promise you I do not. I promise you that is not the truth. In all reality, my life has I went from 3 a.m. party life to I'm an old man real quick. So I promise you that is not the truth. What do you think of them saying AV might be out as a coach? Who's them? I didn't see anything like that. I didn't see anything related to Elaine Vigneault being out as a coach. What do you think of them saying AV? I'm trying to figure out on who them is. No Bailey's action for me. Broach, what level of hype? A lot, a lot. I mean, the expectations are let's go win a championship, right? Let's go win a championship. That's what the message is heading into the postseason. So if that's the message, what's the level of hype? The level of hype is 5,000, 10,000 out of 10, 1 to 10, 10,000. Now, Joe says that this is CSN. Well, there's no Comcast Sports anymore, so I'm assuming you mean the NBC Sports Philadelphia, right? Let's go to Flyers. Where has this been? Flyers win last night. Elaine Vigneault's not getting fired, just to be honest with you. Elaine Vigneault is not going to get fired. After the season he had last year, which was amazing, Chuck Fletcher bringing him in, no, it's not going to happen. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. Now that we've seen more over, under 84.5 wins, probably under. Fuck! Probably under, though. For thinking about it realistically. They're an average team, and I said this at the back end of the podcast yesterday. when you look at this Philadelphia Phillies team, whether you want to, like, because a caller brought up, I think I even wrote it down in my notes, because sometimes I like to scribble when people are talking, and I scribble like what I want to say, or not scribble, but I jot something down, right? And I jotted down, like, he said something, if they do well tomorrow, then that maybe they can get on a ride. If they. They don't. They don't. They do not. Now, Aaron Nola's on the mound, and Aaron Nola on the mound can do something way different for you, emotionally and physically as well. So you can be in a position where, with Aaron Nola on the bump, that, maybe you can go win yourself 2 games in a row for the first time in 3,000 years. But I would say under, and it's probably, unfortunately, it's not even close. Heart attack, Hector. Yeah, and it's funny because he was crushing it with this splitter early in the ninth inning. Splitter, getting Vogel back, swinging out in front of it, way lost at the dish. Then he wants to pump a fastball down the dick and doesn't expect anything to happen. I never got a chance yet to. I want to go back and look if he called JT off, what JT put down there. Why are we going fastball after Hector Neris was smoothly killing people with the splitter? And then, like, first out, second out, all right, just keep rocking that splitter, baby. Before, who was it? Wong ended up getting that dribbler to second base before he got Lorenzo Cain. But it started out so good, is my point. Before the walk and the dribbler, it started out smooth, splitter, outside of the leadoff double, I'm saying. But strikeout, splitter. These splitters were gross. I mean, we're talking to the point where when you're swinging, your body is corkscrewed into the ground. That's how phenomenal the pitch was. So why are we going fastball? Hector the Prector has returned, baby. Hector Neris equals shitting your pants but gets the job done. Yeah, for sure. If Roman can make contact, he would bat 300. See, this is the problem that I have with this organization. They're going to look at these last 2 triples as this amazing thing to get Roman Quinn all this playing time again, which sucks because he's not a good player. He's doing better than what he was, which was absolute garbage double A. Now he's giving you triple A, and they're going to look at it based off of circumstances as, this is what we need. Oh, this is going to be great. No. No. Roman Quinn stinks. But, this is going to be their excuse to utilize him more. Plus, with Andrew McCutchen, like, what's the deal with Andrew McCutchen? The fact that you are now in a spot where you have to go check out your eyeballs, like, that's how bad it is for Andrew McCutchen. Go check out your eyes. That's how terrible it really was. It's crazy. Zach wants to know if there's leading off with Brodes. We put leading off with Brodes on pause just because we're figuring some things out. With time stuff, with my schedule, with meetings, with things like that, surrounding work outside of just being on air. So we put leading off with Brodes on pause for anybody else who's thinking the same thing. The amount of times I've almost put a hole in my wall watching the bullpen is insane. So yesterday, Sam Coonrod did amazing in the 7th inning, right? In the 8th inning, Connor Brogdon got into some trouble again. 2 walks. Is that because of the rain, or was that because of him just missing his location? I thought that there was a cutter that got upstairs and it should have been a strike 3 call. Should have been the third. No, wouldn't have been the third out. Should have been the third strike to record it out. But that's a big difference of 2 walks to start an inning and 1 man on with 1 out. So I think he got screwed a little bit, unfortunately. And yeah, it just sucks. It sucks. But we're in a spot now with Connor where we got to figure out what he is. What is he? What is Connor Brogdon? Who is he going to be? What's his role going to be? How is he going to be able to bounce back from adversity? He bounced back well from adversity 2 times so far in his career that stand out to me. Can he continue to do it? It's not going to be an easy straight line, or not even a straight line, but I guess it's not going to be a perfect uphill trajectory. It'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go up, it'll go down. How do you, just like something else, I don't know why I just did that. How do you bounce back? Consistent bullpen guys are one of the hard. Exactly. They're bullpen guys for a reason. You're absolutely right, Taylor. What's up, Taylor? You're absolutely right. There's a reason why people are afraid of spending cash on bullpen pieces in the offseason. Why? Because you don't know what you're going to get. Some days are going to be solid. Some days are going to be bad. Some years are going to be great. Some years are going to be bad. Think about how much money they put into David Robertson. And I'll be honest with you, signing David Robertson made a lot of sense to me. I supported it. My man never got injured. Unfortunately, he started to get injured, though, once he got to the Phillies and had a major serious injury. But there was nothing to kind of say that was going to happen prior to it happening. But that's somewhat I'm not even talking about injuries. I'm talking more just about personal play when healthy. Some guys have it for 3 years and then they fall off for 2. And then they bounce back for a third and then they're dominant for 1. And that's the life of a bullpen piece. Ethan thinks that it's because of the rain. Yeah, I mean, during that 8th inning, it was legitimate, insane downpour. So it wasn't just your standard little drizzle. There was some seriousness to it. And I'll be honest, I'm shocked that they even got to play that game. I thought it was a no-brainer doubleheader. And I would have been pretty disappointed if that was how it played out, to be honest with you. I hate doubleheaders. I think they're so stupid. I think they're so dumb. I never want to see them. So I'm just happy. Why don't we let's do this. You know what time it is? You know what time it is? Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. What do we have for today? What do we have for today? Hourly, our forecast states right now it's 59. At 7 o'clock, mostly cloudy. 8 o'clock, scattered thunderstorms. 9 o'clock, scattered thunderstorms. 10 o'clock, scattered thunderstorms. 11 o'clock, thunderstorms. 12 o'clock, thunderstorms. 1 a.m., thunderstorms. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Although, look, yesterday I said there's no way they play, and they played. So what do you want me to do? Tired of Scott. Oh, I didn't even know what. I was thinking baseball. I'm like, Scott Kingery? Who the hell is Reed on the Phillies? Tired of Scott. He doesn't play that position, really. Unless I didn't. To be honest with you, did he play? I thought if you're talking in regards to a 4 position, it won't work. If you're talking about a backup 5, well, they have that in Dwight Howard. So, um, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter because this is why I don't care. Ready? It won't happen in the playoffs. Mike Scott and Paul Reed, that combination of the two, it's so irrelevant. So I really just don't care. Mike Scott played 5 minutes. I'm really not complaining about 5 minutes with 7 games left of an NBA regular season about Mike Scott or Paul Reed. They're really both irrelevant to what matters here. I think we need to have a little more patience with Chase Anderson. He's a number 5 and has shown consistency throughout his career, yet he's not very good. But a number 5 pitcher is almost always not very good. I think I understand what you're saying, and you're right. In terms of solidifying a number 5 spot, they're going to go Vinny V again. You know they're going to go Vinny V again. They probably look at Vinny V as more of an answer for you. I guess at the 4 instead of the 5. But I'm just sick and tired of it. You're right. I agree with your assessment that Chase Anderson is not as bad as Matt Moore. You can probably grind out Chase Anderson at the 5 if he figured out if he just got a little bit sharper with maybe a couple more starts. If he got a little bit more sharper, you probably could live with the 5 as Chase Anderson. Won't be pretty every night, but could you live with it? If you had a stronger 4, yes. If your Vince Velasquez is your 4, then probably not, because then you're getting back-to-back Chase Andersons, and that's where you struggle. If you have other players that don't give you Chase Anderson, and then Chase Anderson is your 5, you're in a different spot. Vince Velasquez had a nice outing yesterday. Everyone can agree with that, right? This is why he hangs on. He'll go 4 innings, go 4 innings, go 4 2/3, go 5, give you a nice solid 6. Oh, maybe there's something in Vince Velasquez. He'll give you 4 2/3. He'll give you 5. He'll give you 5 1/3. He'll give you a solid 6 1/3. Hold on. Maybe there's something in Vince Velasquez. He'll give you a solid 4. He'll give you a solid 5. He'll give you a solid 4 2/3. Hey, maybe he'll do good then. Oh, wow. He gave you 6. It's like, he's not good. He's not good. He has 102 starts, and he's not good. So it's crazy. Crazy. Look, Ethan, I when it comes down to Vince Velasquez, let's just be realistic. My man's here to stay for the year. Unless they make a serious acquisition at the trade deadline, Vince Velasquez is now in the starting rotation. He outplayed Matt Moore, who was a disaster. So just get used to it. Vinny V is back. Christian says, shout out Voracek, top 10 scorer in Flyers history. Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of respect. He falls short on mine, too, just in terms of, like, I like Voracek, and I'm not a hater. I'm not one of those guys that just despises Jake Voracek. I think he's the one that needs to go, though, out of all of them. And hopefully, maybe I was talking to someone who is very, very, very in with the team. And one of the questions I asked is, what do you think about throwing a first-round pick to Seattle going, yo, take Voracek in the expansion? He goes, I don't think it would even take that much because they're going to have to eat some money. Being a new franchise, you're going to have to take on some of the bigger contracts. You can't shy away and stay away from every bigger contract. So he thought that it might take a mid-tier prospect and a Jake Voracek. I'm like, all right, dude, that's a no-brainer. I mean, that's a no-brainer. If it takes an Allison, if it takes a player like that, that's a no-brainer. No-brainer. So I was kind of shocked. But yeah, with Voracek, like he doesn't sit at the top for me with a G or something like that. I respect Voracek's career and whatnot, but there's a connection missing for me. There's no denying it. Sean Rodriguez wants to donate $2. Do you miss me, buddy? Remember that walk-off homer? Oh, my God. Honestly, no, I don't. I do not remember that walk-off homer. I think I remember typing it in as my title, but I don't think I remember. Let's see. I'm going to type it in. Sean Rodriguez walk-off home run. Let's watch it. Oh, yeah. August 26th against the Pirates of all teams. Here we go. Bottom of the 11th, liner to left field, right over the wall. I actually do remember that. God, I hate looking at that guy's face. I literally despise looking at this human being's face. That's terrible. I was going to look up. Oh, yeah, because we were talking about pitchers, right? Who was it who, I think I saw Bob from Crossing Broad throw this up. It was Tony Watson. Tony Watson. Remember how pumped up I was for Tony Watson? Not insanely pumped up, but reasonably pumped up for what his role could be. He is in 9 games. Well, he's got a 108 ERA in 8 innings pitched with 6 strikeouts and a whip of .72. That's where Tony Watson is. But he's on the IL with the calf strain. I did not see that. So if injuries were one of the reasons why maybe they felt the way that they did, well, that's it. But he's with the Angels, and he's giving you a 108 ERA, and he's giving you 8 innings pitched, 6 Ks, 7.2 whip, .72 whip. That's where you're at. Thank you, Sean Rodriguez, for the $2 donation. Thoughts on the bench performance last night? It wasn't good. It wasn't good. And I'm going to expand on this a little more in case anyone missed me in the beginning of the show. I am going to record the Sixers review or the Sixers post-game pod, if you will, today, right after Coffee with Brodes is over. So I will expand more. And if you don't follow me on Twitter already, at Brodes81, what I've been doing lately after games are over, I'll just be informing people what I'm going to do that night. So instead of waiting around, is it coming tonight? Is it coming tomorrow? I just tweeted out last night, Phillies post-game pod coming tonight, Sixers episode tomorrow after Coffee with Brodes. So just a little heads up, if you want to get that idea of what's going to come up that night or what's going to be uploaded that night, because sometimes it's a little tough to, if there's 3 games on, 2 games on, sometimes I'll do 1 in the morning, 1 at night, so just an idea. Over under 8 wins for the Eagles. Could get a little scary if Hurts is the guy this year. Under. I think under 8 wins is probably more realistic if you're looking at it. I see them as a team where, last year they won 4 and it was just a horrible watch. I think they're more in that 5 or 6 category, and which isn't good. It's not good, especially in a 17-game season, and it's bad in a 16-game season as well. But the difference would be you're not going to hate life Sundays. You won't hate life. They might not win, but believe it or not, there's a way for a team to somewhat satisfy you, especially when last year set the bar so low and them not win a lot of games. Like involved, there's a scheme that intrigues you. You like what you see out of Jonathan Gannon. You're seeing Jalen Hurts take a big stride. Devontae Smith is explosive. You like what you see maybe out of Dickerson if he plays and he stays healthy. There's ways for you to, because you know they're going to be bad, so you have to look for the silver lining. You can't just say, well, they're going to be bad, so this season's just going to suck, and I'm never going to be entertained by anything or see any positives or any optimism out of it. No, you're looking for the step in the right direction. You're looking for Nick Sirianni's adjustment. You're looking for all that. You're looking for all that. That's the difference. Oh, geez, don't do this. I want to congratulate the Flyers for making the playoffs next year. That's like saying to the Phillies, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. But good luck for when. So they lose tonight, right? Today's Tuesday. Congratulations for winning Wednesday's baseball game, because you just know flat out that win, loss, win, loss. But Aaron Nola's on the mound. And when Aaron Nola's on the mound, it changed it a lot. Is Howie Roseman speaking right now? Is Howie Roseman speaking right now? Yes. Yes. Yes, he is. Howie says that defensive tackle, and I know I looked up the phonetic spelling, so I'm probably going to butcher it, but Chewy Pelutu, the defensive tackle they took in the 6th round, apparently they had a second-day grade on him, which is that second, third round. I don't know if that means anything, That doesn't mean much because they clearly passed up on him in the 4th, clearly passed up on him in the 5th, right? Or do they not even have that? What did they do in the 5th round? I don't even remember their 5th round picks, to be honest with you. Or do they not have any? My point. Oh, they did. Oh, no, this is last year's. I'm like, wait a second. Let's see here. Devontae Smith. McPherson was 4th. Gainwell was what? Was he 4th as well there, or was he 5th? Was Gainwell the 5th? I thought, for some reason, I thought he was in the 4th. That's why I thought that. But regardless, it doesn't matter, really. A day 2 grade on him. I'm just looking to see if he was drafted in the 5th or the 4th. Oh, he was drafted in the 5th. Okay. Yeah, Gainwell was drafted in the 5th. He's got some high optimism, man. A lot of people are excited about him. Yeah, a lot of people are excited about what he can do as that third back behind Miles Sanders and behind Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, whatever. Just find a way to use his versatility and be a good playmaker for sure. So I'm excited for Gainwell as well. They have see, I think everyone forgot about Eric Wilson. I mean, yes, to answer your question, do they value them as much as a Dallas Cowboys value a Van Der Esch or a Sean Lee? No, they don't value him to that level. They have Eric Wilson for next year, and that's just a stopgap guy. But Eric Wilson can play. Eric Wilson is a really nice acquisition. They have Alex Singleton. I don't know what Alex Singleton really is, but he's a motor guy who can go out there. I think Eric Wilson and Alex Singleton can be stopgap people for whatever you figure out. They've never really valued it. They won a Super Bowl with Nigel Bradham. They won a Super Bowl with that, right? Wasn't it? It was because Jordan Hicks got hurt that year. When it was, he finished with 88 combined. 61 solo tackles. I don't know why that hurt. I got that random itch again. You won with Nigel Bradham, and you won with Jordan Howard or Jordan Hicks, who went down. Let's see here. I'm looking to see if Howie Roseman says anything interesting. Apparently nothing yet. After the draft, what position is still severely lacking depth? Well, cornerback, definitely. And linebacker, yeah. I mean, because they think about it, they made it work with the trenches. So they got their depth with the trenches on both sides. They're missing corner, and there's plenty of ways to do it. You're not going to fix everything with one draft. If you think one draft is going to fill every single hole, well, then I think you just had a flawed mindset going into things. That's impossible. You're not going to fix everything. Would you have liked a corner? Yeah, because right now it's Avonte Maddox and McPherson battling it out for an outside corner spot, which is not ideal. Maybe they make a trade. Maybe they go get a Ronald Darby type of thing. And Ronald Darby now stinks, but when you traded for him at Buffalo, he helped win you a Super Bowl, so he didn't stink at the time. So my point is, go out and grab somebody who can help you out on the outside corner. Might be a stopgap. Might be an Anthony Harris type of move, which we love the Anthony. Why can we be okay with Anthony Harris and Eric Wilson for 1 year? But if it was an outside corner for 1 year, that's not all right. That's not going to satisfy anyone's needs. But for other positions, it's okay. Just go grab another guy for right now and just let it be a stopgap guy until next year when you have a billion picks in the first round and in the second round, and you can go grab yourself that full-on cornerback position that you are looking for. So we still, what quotes are going like, what is Howie talking about that the only quotes being thrown? I guess he hasn't said anything interesting to this point, huh? And where's he even speaking? I'm confused. I only see one person talking about it. And maybe he's not speaking. What is going on here? Um, Howie Roseman says he beat Nick Sirianni in rock paper scissors. Is he speaking on? Oh, he's on WIP. That makes sense. He's on with Angelo. Here I am looking for Eagles Twitter and whatnot, or yeah, like how you go to Eagles Twitter page and they have that Periscope feed up on their Twitter and the GM speaking. So he's on WIP. That makes a lot of sense. So it looks like Howie called Milton Williams an explosive three technique guy and compared his inside-outside versatility to Malik Jackson. That's one thing that I do think is getting somewhat overlooked here is the versatility of Milton Williams. Unfortunately, people are thinking that it's automatically going to be nothing with him. Because Tom Donahoe wanted another position, Milton Williams isn't going to be able to be effective for you, which is a joke. That's unfair to say. He can give you both. He can play inside and he can play outside, and he can be a nice NASCAR package player for you. I think you got something interesting in Milton Williams. I'm excited to see how he can kind of give you some of that explosive work inside, work outside, and he can give you a different dynamic. I'm with you. I'm with you for the excitement level. I don't know if many are. I think people already write him off just because of the debacle between the fist bump, as if the fist bump automatically means that he can't play, which would just be a ridiculous statement. The odds Carson gets a decent – I think Carson's going to have a good year, Mike. I wouldn't be surprised if Carson Wentz has a good season. New place, new team, less stress. The debacle here is over. You're playing with Frank Reich again, which you're very comfortable doing. I think Carson is set up to have some success. Now, I don't think he's MVP every year. I don't think he was what he was last year. I think he's going to put the Colts in a position to win between 9 and 11 games, 9 to 12 games every year. So they could be 9 and 8. They could be 10 and 7. They could be, I got to get used to saying these numbers because it's somewhat weird. 9 and 8. Is that even, yeah, that's 17. 9 and 8 or 10 and 7 or 11 and 6. I can see in that range. It might not be equivalent to what he did in 2017 every year. Maybe it's a 9-win season. Maybe it's a 10-win season. But I think he's going to consistently keep you involved every year. I mean, he's not just going to give you 3-win seasons, 4-win seasons like he did last year. I don't think that's reality. I think that's more of the outlier. Just like I think the MVP might be the outlier, but it's in there. And maybe you get another MVP season out of the next couple of years and one gets thrown in there and then the rest are average. Who knows? But I do think he's going to be talented. Do you see him winning a Super Bowl there, though? Well, I don't know. It's so hard to win a Super Bowl. He's going to put their team in a position to make the playoffs. And if you're making the playoffs, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. It's so hard to predict. Unless your name is Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, it's very hard to predict if they're going to go win a championship. It's the Indianapolis Colts. No, they're not set up the same way the Patriots were. Their team isn't set up the same exact way as the Chiefs, but they have a lot of talent. They're playoff teams. So if you have a team that can consistently make the playoffs, which I think they can, and they can win that division, well then, yeah, I think that they have an opportunity to make a run just like any other team can. but they're not at the, just like the Eagles, I'm saying. Like the Eagles in 2017, they just made a run. Nobody looked at them as some championship caliber team. They made a run. Some teams have it. Sometimes you get on that ride. Can the Colts get on that ride? I don't like the 17-game season. The 8 home games are an advantage for that year, yeah. And then there's the disadvantage. But you're right. It's a little we're gonna have to get used to it. But just like anything else, you eventually get used to it. You eventually get used to it. I gotta move this damn trash can. It's pissing me off. It's getting in my way. My knee keeps banging into it. I got Pringles in there. Had some nice Pringles too. I went with the which one were those? Oh, the ranch. Some nice Pringles, man. Haven't had Pringles in a long, long time. So I got myself some Pringles. Colts seem to have a good culture. Sure, they do. Absolutely. They love playing for Frank. But can't, I mean, you can make the argument that a lot of coaches kind of have you know, they have a good atmosphere in some of these places. But yeah, you're right. They do have a good spot going. I just joined. I forgot what time it was. That's 9:30, man. What were you doing prior? Playing MLB The Show? What were you doing before? Yeah, I did see Tom Wilson. And we're going to have our Open Ice Hits podcast up tomorrow between Kevin Durso and myself, and we're going to break it all down because Tom Wilson was an absolute fucking scumbag last night. Everything. Flexing in the box. Absolute douchebag. Douchebag. And he crossed the line, and I would suspend him for a playoff series if I was the NHL. I would suspend him for an entire playoff series, if not even more if I could. Did I see that Rodgers is getting traded? I mean, I don't know if it's 100%, 100%, but there are speculations that he does not want to be there. Yes. I don't know if they're actually going to get, I mean, if I'm Green Bay, I'm not getting rid of Aaron Rodgers at all. You're not going anywhere, bud. You're stuck here. Here's what I think is funny, though. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't like where he's at because of the organization, that's okay. If Carson Wentz doesn't like where he's at because of the organization and where they drafted, he's soft. And he's a word that starts with a P. And I like to curse a lot, and I'm definitely a potty mouth, if you will. I'll leave that one out, though. When Carson Wentz doesn't like their draft picks, and that changes the way he feels about the organization, that's not all right. When Aaron Rodgers does it, it's perfectly fine because, it's Aaron Rodgers. And, well, that makes sense. Of course. Why would Aaron Rodgers be happy? All right, so it's okay for one man to feel one way. Carson Wentz feels the same way, and automatically he's a bitch, according to some. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Looks like 90 games. Oh, no, the question was written wrong. Do you think Rodgers will get traded? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's uglier than I thought it was, because there was drama at the end of the season and you figured that he was going to stay. It's your typical end of the year. I'm upset. We lost a playoff game. We should have won. Maybe I try something new, but you're never going to try something new because your name's Aaron Rodgers and you're born to be in green and yellow. So, you heard that, but now things obviously intensified with Adam Schefter, but the more and more I hear anything from national news, and I guess I'm starting to feel differently about Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter and all these guys. I'm not saying there's no truth to this, all right? They've been around for a while. But the way that we've seen Howie Roseman leak 50,000 stories to them specifically, and that's how some of the storylines got out there, I'm wondering if there's something behind that. Where is another team leaking information to Adam Schefter? Is someone leaking information to Adam Schefter to spark this whole thing, maybe to try and acquire Aaron Rodgers, like an opposing team leaking information to Schefter? So then it's like, hold on, maybe, you know what I mean? Like Aaron Rodgers really wants to get out. Hey, I heard that Aaron Rodgers really wants to get out, And that's how this business works, unfortunately. It does. It works that way. I hate Vinny V. He blows. I'm there with you, man. Did he actually say something on Pat McAfee's show? Because I was unaware that was where it happened. I mean, the information was literally released on NFL Draft Day, so I figured that he was waiting for NFL Draft Day to say it. But did he actually say it himself on the Pat McAfee show? Because I did not see that, and I thought I would see that clip if that happened. Okay, so we have more information on Howie Roseman, by the way. We do have, well, this it wouldn't be that wouldn't be the debate. It would be Matt Moore or Vinny V. I don't think it would be Chase Anderson or Vinny V. And I've been saying it just because I'm so out on Vinny V, even though he's probably better. I would probably go in the direction of Vince Velasquez, or I'm sorry, I'd probably go at Matt Moore just because I hate Vinny V that much, whether that's fair or unfair. Okay, so here's what Howie Roseman said, because we all saw the fist bump problem, right? Howie Roseman said on WIP this morning that Tom Donahoe wanted NC State defensive tackle McNeil, who Robinson and McNeil, when they traded back from 70 to 73, Robinson and McNeil went in that middle ground there, in those middle selections. So when you move back, you missed on them. So that's what they wanted McNeil. So they wanted another defensive tackle. They just got a different defensive tackle. Jeff McLean is reporting this, by the way, of the Philadelphia Inquirer. He can confirm that two independent sources that was the case. So Jeff McLean heard the same thing. He wasn't the only one who wanted McNeil. Donahoe also thought another 6th-round pick was needless. Well, at that point, 6th-round pick, I don't really give a damn. 3rd-round pick has a little bit more power to it. 6th-round pick, that doesn't bother me at all. So, yeah, in other words, defensive tackle was what they wanted anyway. So that changes the narrative for some that, like, oh, he wanted a corner. He wanted a corner. No, not really. They wanted another defensive tackle. We'll see what McNeil, what McNeil's all about. Like, that doesn't mean Milton Williams stinks. We'll see what McNeil's all about. They both could possibly just can become your rotational third pieces. It's an interesting question, Andrew. Andrew says, or asks, how much time does Jalen Hurts have to prove himself? And what are the odds next year Wentz pick is used on a quarterback if Hurts doesn't look like a franchise guy? So before I even got to the second part of your question, that's how I was already going to answer it. I think this year is it for Jalen Hurts. That doesn't mean he's just going to be ran out of the league afterwards. They valued him as a backup quarterback for a reason. Maybe he sticks around as that number 2 guy. They look at that and his cap and his money, and one of the reasons why they drafted him is to have a cheap backup. So if he became your backup, okay, I think this is it for starting purposes. And look, if they draft somebody or bring somebody in, that person gets injured and Jalen Hurts makes a run and gets on a ride and this and that, that's different. I'm talking more about just for your future franchise setup, and what move you're going to make is based off of this season of Jalen Hurts. He gets this year to earn this job. If he fails, I think they're stockpiling all the picks next year, because if they fail with Jalen Hurts, that means your record's probably bad, right? That means you stink. That means you're not good. That means you're not winning a lot of football games, which means you're probably drafting very high. So you're already drafting high. Let's use this year as an example. Let's say they get another 6th overall pick. If they have 6, along with all these firsts or seconds, considering that it's possible that Wentz pick is a second, you have enough to move up to 2, 3, 4, 5 to go get your quarterback that you want to, if that's the case. So I think that's exactly, to answer your question, I think 1 year is what you're looking for. 1 year. What if Hurts is just average? If he's just average, that's not good enough for me. That means you have an average quarterback. Are you satisfied with an average quarterback? Absolutely not. So you'd have to go in another direction. Average would be backup quarterback. You're a backup quarterback. If your backup quarterback is average, fine. To me, that's backup quarterback. Not good, but not like extremely bad. Well, if he's not good, we got to go in another direction, right? That's how I would look at it. He's got to win the job by being like a significant piece that looks like we can build with this. And if he's just average and it's like, well, I mean, we could build with this, but we'd probably be 500 and we're just average because he's average. Nope. Yeah, average quarterbacks will never right. There's outliers, right? Like, and this is not even, you didn't win a Super Bowl, but Ryan Tannehill is an example I like to use with an average guy. Ryan Tannehill is average as it can get. Now, they have a scheme that works around him so that it works. Can you build that? That might work. I don't want to do that, though. I want to get a better quarterback. Can you make it work? Maybe. Ryan Tannehill is 60-54. I mean, he's literally just a tick over 500. But he's making playoff runs. You have Derrick Henry. You're explosive. Like you have that working for you. It's possible to do it, but I don't want to do it. Foles, yeah, but he didn't get you to. If Nick Foles played 16 games, you might not even be making the playoffs. Like, what? Nick Foles won one game. Fine. That means if you can get to the Super Bowl and then plug Jalen Hurts in for that one game or those 2 games or whatever. Like, Nick Foles absolutely was horrendous in the game against the Falcons. No one remembers that. They scored, 17 points? And they won because of a stand at the goal line. Credit Jim Schwartz. How about that? Actually, throw some credit to Jim Schwartz. It was the Eagles-Atlanta Falcons game. Oh, it was 24-20. Was it 24-20? No, because that was a different Atlanta Falcons game. In 2018 score. 18-12. Nope, 15-10. 15-10. 15-10. That was your offense. Oh, I don't want to go down that road again. I really don't want to go down that road again. He's average at best. Yeah, it's Ryan Tannehill, average at best. You're right. No, I agree. I agree. Ryan Tannehill has kind of resurfaced it a little bit, and he's an okay guy. But do you have a cap with that team because of the way it's set up? Can you run Derrick Henry into the ground the way that you're doing? How long is that window? Windows are very short, as we know anyway. But your style, it might work for a year, and then you run your running back into the ground. Then how do you reset this thing? How do you give him that many carries? Like, how many carries did Derrick Henry have last season? Oh, my God. 378. 378 carries for 2,027 yards. That's mind-blowing. It really is. It really, really is. That's wild. And Julio dropped the game-winning touchdown pass. How many times has Julio dropped the pass? Yeah, you're not wrong. Maybe Jalen Mills' swagger being in the way was huge. Michael says, Brodes, I just got MLB The Show. What's the best thing about it? Well, I know it's not the online servers. That's for damn sure. I'll be honest. All I do is play franchise. This is my first MLB The Show because I have Xbox. And all I play is franchise mode offline right now and the Road to the Show series. So I don't know how to really describe it compared to other MLB The Shows. I'm just having a blast playing offline. I hate how a ton of my family members hate Wentz, and I always say it wasn't for Wentz. They wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. They just say it doesn't matter. Well, then with all due respect, your family's just very irrational, right? Like, to say that Carson Wentz wasn't a big part of winning that Super Bowl and they don't care about that, they're just irrational about it. That's all. And once I realize whoever I'm speaking to has that type of mentality or that type of mindset, I just stop talking to them because there's no getting through to them. They're not thinking about it logically. They're just very irrational with their statements. So I just walk away. I'm like, all right, that's fine. You can think that way. I won't lose sleep over it. You can think that way. There's plenty of people that say asinine shit, and I just don't like, okay, fine. Once you realize you're in a debate, and sports is all about debate. Sports debates are fun. Once I realize I'm in the middle of a debate and it ain't working because the other person's just a moron, I won't lose sleep over it, dude. You feeling that way won't change my life. If you feel Wentz had nothing to do with that Super Bowl, won't change my life. Won't change my life. You're wrong. Won't change my life, though. You're uneducated. Won't change my life. I'll wake up the next day and I'll have a nice sip of coffee. I just don't like how Carson and the Eagles handle the whole situation, both sides. 100% agree. I'll also say this, though, to add to it. There's probably so much that happened that we are unaware of that factors into why it went down this way. Like knowing how shady sports are, knowing how shady this specific topic is, knowing everything surrounding these two parties and what we know about Howie and what we know about Carson Wentz, the person himself, like it seemed very out of character for him to do what he did. There's probably a lot that happened where we'll never know, and there's a reason why it went down the path of ugliness that he did, you know? That's just my thought on it. Wentz is greater than Dak. At this point, I don't even care about this conversation, you know? I still go back to pure skill set. Yeah, I like Wentz more. Pure skill set. When we talk about the skill set, Dak is a baller, though. I thoroughly enjoy if Dak Prescott was on any other team but Dallas, New York, or Washington, I'd probably love watching him play. And I still take away because I can do this. I know some can't, but I could take away sometimes. It's hard with Dallas, but just watching an athlete for an athlete. I respect athletes, right? So unless your name is Sean Rodriguez. Dak Prescott, man, like I love watching everything about Dak Prescott, you know? I love everything about. Now, I disagree with this. I don't know if you're just trolling, but Dak Prescott is definitely better than Jalen Hurts. Dak Prescott's absolutely better than Jalen Hurts. 15-10? What's 15-10? What am I missing here? Yeah, agreed. I agree with you 100%. I love Dak Prescott's story for sure. Unless your name is Sean Rodriguez. These running backs never last long. It's almost pointless to draft them high in the draft. Even Zeke is falling off a bit. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Zeke. It's funny. Tyler Zoe and I brought this up on 97.5 this weekend. Zeke fumbled. Zeke was pissed off. Zeke had bad body language. Is it because they were down so much and they had to crawl back into it so they weren't running the football as much? I don't know what happened with Zeke last year, but yeah, you're right. I mean, but if you have the difference is if your team's properly built, here's why I faulted the logic of the Giants picking Barkley over Darnold at the time. And even if Darnold becomes a good player or a bad player, this is why I think the Barkley move didn't make a lot of sense. And he still had 244 carries last year. How many did Zeke have? It's funny that you look at that as like, you don't have as many carries because he was getting 322, 304, 301 in years past. But if you have a team that's ready to win and you add a Saquon Barkley, that's dangerous, right? If you add Saquon Barkley to a team that has their quarterback, has their offensive line, has good two offensive playmakers on the outside, and your defense is very strong, and you add Barkley, that's amazing. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have an offensive line, you don't have a head coach, you don't have a coaching staff, you don't have a defense, you don't have weapons, and then it's let's draft Barkley. So by the time we get everything I just mentioned, he's 5 or 6 years into his career. That doesn't make sense at all. So I'm not anti-drafting a Barkley high. I'm not anti-drafting a Zeke high. You got to be ready to win, though. And then you add that punch, that power that you can have for a 3-4 window of like legit insane power. I'm for it. But if you don't have anything surrounding those explosive backs, well, then that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's right. You're right. They also did have a different back to go to last season, which maybe that pissed him off even more. My bold prediction is Eagles go 8-9 and win the division. I would say that's bold. If I had to bet, I would bet against that scenario happening. I think this is the Dallas Cowboys division to win. I do. And they're going to fix that. They're as bad as their defense was historically for those couple of weeks and all. That's not how bad they are. And they did make an addition in Parsons and whatnot. And sure, they're losing some pieces with injury throughout and all, but I still think this is Dallas's division to win. It might not be a great division. I'm not telling you they're going to go out and win a shit ton of games. They could be a 9-10 win team, and I think they're going to be able to win this division. But I see Dallas as like a 9 or 10 win team that can go win the division this year. I think they're the best suited to do that. Doesn't mean they will. You know how football works. It does not mean it will go down that way. I can see it going down that way, though. 7-10. Okay. I'm more in that 6-11 range. Yep. Okay, so more in that 6-11 range. I think they're 6-11. Who will be better? I like that this is up here too, because after Dallas, let's kind of talk this out a little bit. After Dallas, if they are to win, like hypothetically speaking, they win the division. How else does it fall? Is it Eagles, Washington, Giants? Is it Giants, Washington, Eagles? I have no idea. It's very interesting. I still think the Giants are missing something, and maybe the answer is quarterback. I just don't believe in Daniel Jones. He gives you explosive plays, but not enough. He's still very raw, and you would hope that at this point that jump would have happened, that leap would have happened that you were looking for. I think you're still looking for that leap. I would say maybe Washington. Getting an average, good veteran, and that's what Adrian says up here as well. He says if Fitzpatrick is just average, I think Washington. Yeah, with that defense, if you get a guy that can just hold the fort down, that's probably better. So can the Eagles beat the Giants? Can the Eagles be better than the Giants? Could it go Cowboys, Washington, Philadelphia, New York? With not a lot of gap in between, by the way. If the Washington football team's a 7-win team, Eagles are a 6-win team, Giants are a 5-win team, is it possible where that is the case? Is it possible that that's what you get? I think it is, sure. Why not? Did I watch the Penguins kick? Not really. No. This is the longest stretch of time without tuning into a Philadelphia sports team in a long time. But I've just been out on the Flyers. Oh, yeah, no doubt. I think to expect Nick Sirianni to walk in here and to demand something similar to a 10-win season. Well, knowing the roster's bad, you got a whole bunch of coaches that are very raw in their new position, and you got a roster that we all says has holes. We got to have realistic expectations on what we are going to see out of the head coach. We can't just demand and expect excellence right away. There's going to be growing pains, but if you see some real immature decision, if you see just overwhelmingness, you got to be able to balance. You can have mistakes because of a decision, but not look overwhelmed. If you get a scenario where this man is just completely overwhelmed and just not there, losing it, there's a difference, right? You can not have a ton of success because of roster decisions and because of, maybe just needing to get the feel out process of being a head coach and then looking extremely overwhelmed. There's two involved. Bold, not so bold prediction. Devontae Smith wins Rookie of the Year. Yeah, not as bold. It's possible, though. You are talking about a Heisman winner who explodes offensively like no other, so. Yeah, so Mike Kay, who covers the Eagles for NJ.com, says this, and I couldn't agree more with him. Imagine getting upset over missing out on a third-round nose tackle, visibly complaining about it in front of your team's owner, and then getting potentially better one in the 6th round. Yikes. I agree. I agree there where I think the reaction about what happened with Tom Donahoe was just the fact of, here we go, Howie again, and not so much the actual circumstances that we are witnessing. We're talking about a 3rd-round defensive tackle and then possibly a 6th-round defensive tackle that he's all upset with. Dude, really? Really? Grow up. What would be the realistic time frame to judge Sirianni? If Sirianni has 2 egregious seasons, how do you keep him for a 3rd? What if you see 4 wins? I was going to say 5 there. That's why it came out that way. 4 wins the first year and 4 wins the second year. I can't imagine them keeping Nick Sirianni for a 3rd. They'd have to admit there was a mistake. You can't just keep someone for 3. Realistically, and I'm telling you, not because of it would. I need to see actual context because they can win 4 games and it be because their offensive line gets annihilated again with injuries or the quarterback stinks. So you can't really judge Sirianni because the quarterback can't make the throws. There's a lot that needs to be in play here, and I need to see it. I'm a big context guy. With that being said, though, if the context is Nick Sirianni stinks and he stinks in the first 2 years because he stinks, then I'm pulling the trigger. I'm not flirting around with this where I got to prove that he's not as bad. No, he stinks. And if he shows signs of this giddiness, this goofiness, and no one's buying in and it snowballs out of control real early on him, I'm not playing that game. So, we'll see how it goes. Prediction for the Phillies to pursue Trevor Story. I mean, I think that's more of a shot in the dark than it is anything else. Like, we know that it's possible he's not going to be there. But in terms of, there's nothing that makes me feel right now that they're the team that's 100% going to land him. They just signed Didi Gregorius for 2 years. You have Alec Boehm at third base. You have Gene Segura there at second base. I'm just giving you the infield in general. Not that that really all really correlates to that, but I would love him. I would love him. I would love him, love him, love him. I don't think the Phillies are just going to randomly get him, though. Where are you going to plug him in? And trust me, I would find a spot to plug in Trevor Story, but you just signed Didi Gregorius. So where does it fit? I want him. What do you have to give up to get him? Nothing. You ain't touching Mick Abel. I'd throw Bryson Stott in there, yeah, because that's your fill-in for Didi Gregorius, and instead of waiting for Bryson Stott, you'd be throwing in a player like Trevor Story, but I don't think that that's really realistic. Yes, we do need outfield help. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It seems like they're just going to try and keep their head afloat, try and keep themselves in there. Let's take a look at the standings before we head out of here because we have barely any time left here on Coffee with Brodes. We have the NL East. The Nationals are leading the way at 12-12, 500 baseball team. The Phillies are 14-15 with a 483 win percentage. They are 5-5 in their last 10, 4-9 on the road, 10-6 at home. The Mets are 11-12. The Braves are 12-6, man. What happened to the Braves? Because I forget who they just played, but they had a nice little ride there. Where it seemed like they were getting back on track, and then what happened before you know it? Yeah, I don't know what happened to Andrew McCutcheon, man. I don't know. He just fell apart. Oh, they got swept in the 3. Wow, they're in a 4-game skid. They got swept by the Blue Jays and lost to the Cubs. They did win that 4-game series against the Cubs. They took 3 of 4, which was huge, and that's where I saw them take that jump in the standings. Then they lost 4 straight. They fell their last game to the Cubs 9-3. They lost 13-5, 6-5, 7-2, and now they start a series against Washington. Damn. This entire division is wow. Just wow. But all right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with Coffee with Brodes. If you are looking for my thoughts on the Sixers-Bulls game from last night, I will tell you this. You will get one. I am going to record this podcast within a little bit here. So the post-game show from yesterday's game will be up. I got to record it still. It's 10 o'clock. I'm going to make another cup of coffee, get some of my notes together. But I will be recording it very, very soon, just to give you a heads up. So be on the lookout within the next hour or two for the Sixers Bulls podcast to be up. Thank you, everyone. You are the best. I appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Today's the last day to get into that Phillies book bag giveaway on my Twitter page at Brodes81. See you guys.